Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The news is buzzing across Miami, and the whispers in the locker room are starting to become a roar. Tyreek Hill's time with the Dolphins is officially coming to an end. Sources close to the team claim that the decision was not sudden. It's been brewing behind closed doors for months, a slow burn of dissatisfaction and strategic reevaluation that now has reached its inevitable conclusion. Miami fans are struggling to reconcile the image of Hill as the electrifying speedster who turned games upside down with the stark reality of a franchise that seems ready to move in a completely different direction. It's not just about statistics or highlight reels, but about a larger philosophy taking shape within the Dolphins' front office. The whispers suggest that internal discussions have revolved around financial flexibility, locker room chemistry, and a long-term vision that, somehow, doesn't have room for Hill's dynamic presence anymore. Rumors also point to possible trade talks, though nothing has been confirmed publicly, keeping the speculation alive and feeding the frenzy among fans and media alike. Some insiders hint at subtle signs during practices and meetings where Hill's influence may have clashed with the emerging leadership dynamics, signaling a change in direction that could reshape Miami's offensive strategy entirely. Behind the scenes, the Dolphins' management appears to be carefully orchestrating a transition that, while painful for many fans, is designed to maximize future flexibility. Tyreek Hill, after all, has been a cornerstone of Miami's offense since his arrival, a player whose speed, route-running precision, and game-breaking ability created matchup nightmares for defenses week after week. Yet, the whispers insist that the very qualities that made Hill indispensable also made his position complicated in the evolving team structure. Negotiations, potential trades, and cap implications are reportedly being dissected in private rooms, with scouts and executives weighing the cost of keeping a star against the opportunity to redistribute resources. Rumors also suggest that Hill himself has been aware of these discussions for some time, navigating the delicate balance between professional commitment and personal considerations, perhaps even preparing mentally for a shift that could send shockwaves through the AFC. Fans are left in suspense, analyzing every Instagram post, every subtle interaction in press conferences, reading between lines that might indicate the start of a post-Hill era. The speculation is intense, feeding the rumor mill with every nuance of Hill's demeanor and the team's quiet strategy sessions. On social media, the chatter has taken on a life of its own, with every analyst, fan account, and former player weighing in, dissecting potential destinations and the ripple effects across the NFL. Some rumors place Hill in a blockbuster trade scenario, envisioning him in another offensive system where his speed could again redefine what it means to stretch the field. Others suggest that the Dolphins may be preparing to pivot toward a younger receiving core, betting on potential over proven explosiveness. The undercurrent of tension is palpable. Fans are torn between loyalty to a star who has delivered countless unforgettable moments and the cold calculations of a franchise trying to build sustainable success. Every mention of Miami and Hill-related news now carries a weight of speculation, a sense that change is imminent and irreversible. Industry insiders are closely monitoring whispers from rival teams, understanding that a shift involving a player of Hill's caliber could trigger a cascade of strategic moves across the league, making this not just a Miami story, but an NFL story of potential domino effects. The narrative is unfolding in real time, a mix of calculated leaks and genuine uncertainty that keeps the rumor mill spinning relentlessly. Adding fuel to the fire, some sources hint at a subtle disconnect between Hill and coaching staff in recent months, not overt conflict, but enough tension to make observers question long-term compatibility. Practices reportedly contain moments of friction over play designs, situational usage, and leadership roles, feeding speculation that the Dolphins may be prioritizing a different locker room culture moving forward. Rumors swirl about internal debates where Hill's undeniable talent collided with the front office's vision for a team identity that emphasizes versatility, depth, and cap management. Conversations behind closed doors allegedly included possible swap scenarios, draft pick negotiations, and conditional trades that could involve multiple teams, painting a picture of a complex chessboard where each move must be carefully calculated to balance talent, finances, and long-term ambition. Fans are left piecing together fragments from media reports, insider hints, and subtle signs on social media, creating a mosaic of speculation that only intensifies the feeling that the end of an era is near. Hill's next chapter is uncertain, and every mention of Miami, from pressers to casual conversations, is now colored by anticipation, worry, and excitement about what could come next for both him and the Dolphins franchise. Industry chatter also emphasizes that Hill's value remains sky-high, which could explain why the Dolphins are exploring every possible angle. Despite whispers of tension or philosophical differences, teams across the league reportedly view him as an immediate game-changer, capable of turning around fortunes with a single explosive play. This dynamic adds layers to the speculation, because it's not just about letting a star go. It's about maximizing the return, ensuring that if Hill does depart, Miami gains something that strengthens the team for years to come. Rumors hint at potential blockbuster trades involving draft picks, younger talent, or even quarterback considerations, scenarios that could ripple through not just Miami, but multiple franchises in the AFC and NFC. Analysts are buzzing over hypothetical matchups, imagining how Hill's speed could instantly alter another team's offensive schemes, creating opportunities that Miami itself once leveraged so effectively. The rumor mill thrives on these projections, with fans and pundits alike crafting elaborate what-if scenarios, debating whether Miami is sacrificing present explosiveness for future security. Every piece of insider chatter feeds into a growing sense of inevitability. Hill's departure may be imminent, and the NFL is bracing for the reverberations. Finally, the narrative surrounding Hill's exit is also a story of timing, strategy, and optics, with the Dolphins reportedly trying to manage public perception carefully. The whispers suggest that official statements will be crafted to highlight mutual respect, acknowledging Hill's contributions while emphasizing the team's vision for the future. This delicate balancing act is part of the rumor-laden drama, where every leak, every insider tip, and every subtle media narrative contributes to a crescendo of speculation. Fans are caught between disbelief, admiration, and anxiety, trying to reconcile the possibility of life after Hill with the reality that the player who electrified Hard Rock Stadium might be wearing another team's jersey next season. Sources suggest that Miami's decision-makers are not only weighing trade value but also the narrative impact, understanding that Hill's departure, if executed with finesse, could be framed as a strategic evolution rather than a loss. Meanwhile, the rumor mill churns, fueled by every observation, every report, and every analyst's theory, building anticipation to almost unbearable levels. In Miami, the whispers are no longer whispers. They're a storm gathering momentum, a story that promises to reshape the team, the league, and the perception of one of the most electric players in modern NFL history. As the Miami Dolphins prepare for life without Tyreek Hill, the speculation surrounding his next destination has already taken on a feverish intensity, with fans and analysts alike constructing elaborate scenarios in which his blazing speed could redefine offensive strategies across the league. Insiders hint that multiple franchises have quietly expressed interest, each weighing how Hill's presence might integrate into their current roster and offensive schemes. The rumors are specific yet tantalizingly vague, mentioning potential fits in systems that emphasize vertical passing, high-tempo attacks, or spread formations where Hill's ability to create separation could turn ordinary plays into highlight reel moments. Some whispers even suggest secret calls between general managers, tentatively exploring trade structures that could involve draft picks, salary cap adjustments, or player exchanges designed to make the deal mutually beneficial. Fans are poring over every tweet, interview, and media leak, analyzing tone and phrasing for hidden clues, while the rumor mill expands with every new hint of Hill's potential landing spots. The sense of urgency is palpable, as insiders indicate that Hill's representatives are actively listening to options, gauging not just financial compensation but offensive philosophy, coaching stability, and the potential to chase championships in the near term. Every day brings a new twist, fueling a narrative that the NFL might be on the cusp of a seismic shakeup. Meanwhile, the ripple effects in Miami are just beginning to materialize, with teammates reportedly adjusting to the concept of a post-Hill offense and coaches evaluating alternative strategies to maintain explosive playmaking without their superstar. Rumors suggest that the Dolphins are considering a combination of younger receivers, draft picks, and tight end integration to fill the void, emphasizing speed and versatility across multiple positions. Conversations behind the scenes reportedly revolve around maintaining fan engagement and team morale, as executives understand that Hill's departure will be an emotional and symbolic loss for the franchise. Analysts speculate that this shift could also redefine quarterback dynamics, with pressure mounting on the starter to adjust timing, chemistry, and decision-making in a completely transformed offensive ecosystem. The locker room whispers reflect a mix of respect for Hill's contributions and anxiety about the challenges ahead, a combination that insiders describe as both motivating and unsettling. Miami's public relations team is reportedly preparing messaging to frame the move as a strategic evolution, while privately navigating the delicate balance of transparency, respect, and excitement for the future. Fans remain glued to every development, as the story evolves into a complex puzzle of talent, timing, and opportunity. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Industry chatter also focuses on the financial implications, with whispers suggesting that freeing up Hill's contract could give Miami significant flexibility to pursue free agents, restructure salaries, or invest in draft capital. This narrative fuels the rumor mill, as analysts calculate cap space scenarios and speculate about which positions might receive reinforcements in the post-Hill era. The financial calculus is intertwined with strategic considerations, and insiders hint at subtle negotiations with potential trade partners that could allow Miami to maximize return while maintaining competitive balance. Meanwhile, Hill's market value remains astronomically high, creating a tension between the desire to retain talent and the opportunity to leverage his departure for long-term benefit. The speculation extends beyond immediate trades, encompassing projections of how the AFC landscape could shift if Hill joins a contender or a team poised to make a statement in the upcoming season. Fans dissect potential matchups, imagining Hill's speed in new jerseys, and debate whether Miami will ultimately regret the move or celebrate the strategic foresight. Every rumor, calculation, and leak contributes to a growing sense of anticipation, as if the NFL itself is holding its breath, waiting for a chain reaction that could redefine multiple franchises and the playoff picture. Beyond financial and strategic considerations, the human element of Hill's departure is a major topic of speculation, with whispers emphasizing the emotional weight of saying goodbye to a player who has been a defining presence on and off the field. Rumors suggest that teammates are grappling with the reality of losing a locker room leader and a teammate whose energy elevated practice, camaraderie, and morale. Fans are already expressing conflicting emotions online: admiration, gratitude, disappointment, and anxiety, as the possibility of seeing Hill in a different uniform becomes increasingly likely. The narrative extends to Hill himself, with insiders hinting at a thoughtful, measured approach as he evaluates potential landing spots, factoring in championship prospects, coaching styles, team culture, and personal considerations. Some rumors suggest informal meetings with front offices, exploring not just the immediate fit, but the long-term vision for a partnership that could shape the next phase of his career. The speculation paints a picture of a player at a crossroads, balancing professional ambition with loyalty and legacy, as teams quietly position themselves to benefit from one of the most electrifying talents in the NFL. The anticipation, tension, and intrigue are palpable, creating a narrative that feels part drama, part strategy, and entirely magnetic. The media ecosystem has amplified every whisper, with analysts, insiders, and social media commentators dissecting potential scenarios, projecting impact on the Dolphins and the wider NFL landscape. Hypothetical trade scenarios circulate rapidly, including blockbuster exchanges that could involve top draft picks, complementary skill players, or even quarterback considerations. Rumors suggest that every potential suitor is weighing offensive fit, defensive reactions, and the marketability of adding Hill to their roster. The speculation fuels constant engagement, as fans debate the strategic wisdom of Miami's approach, the long-term implications for their roster, and the immediate excitement Hill could generate elsewhere. Pundits analyze historical precedents, comparing Hill's potential trade to other marquee NFL departures, while social media amplifies fan sentiment, blending admiration, outrage, and calculated projections. Behind the scenes, team executives reportedly communicate cautiously, balancing confidentiality with the inevitable leaks that accompany high-profile moves. The narrative becomes not just about Hill, but about the interplay between talent, management strategy, and the delicate choreography required to execute moves at the top tier of professional sports. The rumor mill thrives on uncertainty, and every day adds new layers of complexity, intensity, and intrigue to an already volatile story. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.